Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Hala has a question in terms of the example from earlier, and he says, should we not take all the trades as there would be, not enough criteria for entry, and should we only focus on the good entry ones? Please explain if I'm mistaken. Yes, you're exactly right. You only want to find the best of the best trends. It's one thing to identify just a trend in general. A lot of people can do that, but to beat out your competition as a currency options trader, you also want to be able to define the best of the best trends and make sure that you're on those and not some of the trends where, you can see, if I clear this off for you, %R was telling us that in June that there was a trend, right? We received a sell short signal during this section right here. Now, remember, the confirmation, once the confirmation takes place, even if you get some price action back above the 20 level, as we did right here, you have to have that particular retest level break for you to have an official exit. But if you just look at the price action, you can see you're back inside the acceleration bands around the middle band, which tells you you're no longer in an accelerating breakout trending environment. Your ADX is rolling over. Your two DMI lines are coming close to tagging and touching each other right there. So you're not in a trending environment anymore. All of a sudden you're in a range-bound environment. So you want to make sure that all of this lines up, regardless of the time frame you're using. Even better trends are when you can look at two different time frames using these indicators. So put two different charts up on your screen, a daily chart and an hourly chart, let's say. And whenever you get a bullish signal, let's say, on an hourly chart, take a look at the daily. You want the daily to be bullish as well. If both time frames can be there in sync together, it's even more powerful than what we're just looking at here with multiple indicators lining up for us there. And then finally, the CDD, the Canadian Dollar Index. Somewhat of a similar story to a lot of the charts that we've seen as they've fallen off here through most of 2009. But remember, as options traders, there's still lots and lots of opportunities for us to profit on the downside. Where were the real sweet spot trends that took place? Obviously, our eyes are going to gravitate to some of the bigger ones, and that makes sense. The majority of the big movement that took place in the CDD was in May. And I actually traded this particular trend for my subscribers in my smart options portfolio here at BigTrends, and we were able to profit and catch a portion of this downside. A lot of people were getting scared during this particular segment right here. In that second and third week of May, because the CDD was starting to rally and we're saying, wow, it's starting to go against us. Well, it was just going back up, trying to somewhat retest that 200-day moving average, although it didn't quite make it. And then you get the thrust and acceleration to the downside from there. So you have to be patient. All it was a retest there. It wasn't a time to exit the trade. It was just a retest. ADX during that time, it didn't start to fall. It just flattened out a little bit. So a little bit of a pause in the trend before you get that next leg down. So you want to make sure that you have all your indicators here together, and they're all telling you the same story. If you're looking at a chart at any particular point in time, you have 3 indicators, and 2 of them are bullish, and 1 of them is neutral or bearish, that tells you it's not one of the best trends. So you want to go ahead and pass on that particular trade, look for your next opportunity. And when you can get them all coming together, that's really some of the sweet spots, trying to catch that middle section that middle third of the trend is where you're ultimately really going to be profitable. Now, I see multiple people have asked questions here. Some of them are a little more specific to their particular situation. Technical. So for a lot of you, I will just answer your questions directly via chat. I do have a few more pieces of information I want to share to you. Do yourself a favor and check out fxoptions.com if you haven't had a chance to do that. It's a very, very cool website that the ISE has put together with lots of fantastic information. Very interactive, live quotes, videos and information, lots of ways to get access to news. You can virtually trade through there. Very helpful, and something you always want to pay attention to. There's an events calendar. And even though you might be a technical trader, not a fundamental trader, you don't ever want to completely ignore what's going on in terms of events and fundamental news events. For example, tomorrow we have a Fed rate announcement. Chances are that's probably going to move the currency market. Now, it might not move it that much tomorrow. It might take you a little longer for it to move, but it's still going to move for you there. So you always have to be aware of everything that's taking place there. So it's a fantastic website. Make sure you check that out. As you can see, there's also a list of the upcoming webinars, and we have a bunch of them listed here. So all throughout the end of the year and on into 2010, multiple different ways that you can come and spend some time with the ISE and really sharpen your edge there in the markets. And then once again, you know, the information available to you about some of the different pairs available through the ISE. So make sure that you check all those out and put all those symbols on your charting platform so that you're ready to take a look at those tomorrow morning when trading starts, and really play around with your indicators and the percent R indicator that I taught you tonight, looking for signals on those particular pairs. So I'll go ahead and answer some of these questions directly, and if anybody else has any others, Steve and I are obviously here to answer any other questions you have. But I want to thank you all for giving us some time out of your night to really focus on education, put a priority on that, and I want to thank Steve and the folks at the ISE for allowing BigTrends to spend some time with you here tonight. I think it's really valuable for everybody to be able to put their heads together and kind of discuss what's going on, you know, and some of the ways to find some of the best trends. Filtering out, if you remember, guys, we didn't talk much about what's going on in the overall markets this week, even though we do have a Fed rate announcement. We have jobs numbers. We have gold really moving. I just gave you a simple way to filter out some of that information overload. Use your indicators and read your charts. Know what you're looking at there and really be able to profit from that. So I want to thank Steve and everybody. Like I said, I'll still be here to answer any questions you have, but thank you, everybody. And for those of you who need to head on out, have a fantastic evening and rest of your trading week.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.